This is Christopher John Bjerknes. It is June 29th, 2024. As I've been saying for decades now, the modern Jews, Christians, Muslims, and communists are utilizing the ancient so-called prophecies and apocalypses of the Abrahamic faiths as their plans, and they are utilizing this script and deliberately fulfilling it by their own actions without any supernatural intervention whatsoever. And people really like my videos where I decode these Kabbalah scripts and show how they are being used and artificially fulfilled by willing actors and by dupes who are carrying out and redoing ancient stories over and over and over again. And it's very important for people to understand these themes and symbols. And once you do, you'll begin to recognize it everywhere. They are utilizing it as predictive programming. They are casting Kabbalah spells with animals and other symbolisms. This is a practice of sympathetic magic that goes all the way back to the caveman, and it is an uninterrupted practice which is being carried out today. And one of the most famous stories of the Old Testament is the Exodus story. And the Exodus story is the story of Moses utilizing the Israelite people as bait, as a worm on a fish hook, to lure the Egyptians into the parted Red Sea. So he hooks the Egyptians, lures them into the Red Sea. When the Israelites cross over the parted Red Sea and are safe, the Red Sea then collapses in on the Egyptian army and kills them all off. This same script was utilized to lure in Christians with Jesus, the worm, the serpent from the Garden of Eden on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the worm on the cross. The cross is not only the tree of knowledge and good and evil, it is a fish hook. And Jesus is dangled on that fish hook to lure in the Egyptians into their doom, to lure in the Edomites into the Red Sea, the Sea of Edom, the sea where Satan's children, the Edomites, are drowned. Edom is the color red in Hebrew. It is spelled Aleph, Dalet, Vav, Mem. The Vav is a 6, and it is a serpent. It is shaped like a snake. The name Adam is spelled Aleph, Dalet, Mem. So we have the man, Adam, with a snake added to it, the letter Vav, to form the word Edom. And in the Bible, Esau is called Edom. He is called red blood. And the Edomites are lured into the Red Sea where they are drowned. This script was not only taken from the Exodus, repeated in Christianity, where Jesus is the baited fishhook. He is the fisherman. His disciples become the fishermen of men. He literally reveals this plan by telling his disciples that they are to be his fishermen of men. 4 of his disciples are said to have been fishermen. Another 2 may have already been professional fishermen in the script. And the idea is to lure the Edomites into the Red Sea, to hook them, and then to drown them, to kill them off. Jesus in the book of Revelations kills off all the Gentiles. So this story is again being repeated by the Houthis. The Houthis are luring in the Leviathan of Christianity. The Houthis represent the behemoth powers. The behemoth comes from the land of Nod, which is east of the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is Israel, and the Israelites are the baited hook. The Israelis are the baited hook, like Jesus on the cross, like Moses and his tribes crossing the Red Sea, to lure the Leviathan of the West, primarily America, into the Red Sea, where they are to be drowned by the Houthis firing hypersonic missiles at their ships. They are bombing American naval vessels. They are bombing cargo ships. They are bombing oil tankers. All of this is by design. It has been arranged by dupes and agents of the Israelis to destroy the West, the Edom of the West, to fulfill this ancient script, this ancient plan. And I'm going to show you all the texts that prove all this in the coming days. I'm going to have some more really fascinating decoding videos. I've been working so hard, my eyes are literally bleeding. So please be patient. It's going to take some time to get this out. I would certainly appreciate, as rent comes due at the end of the month, some contributions. I'm very grateful to everyone who has been contributing. You can contribute at my website, CJBBooks.com. I've been working my ass off for you people. I hope you appreciate it. And I want to thank all the people who have helped. And if you'd like to help, there are contribution links at my website, CJBBooks.com, beneath every book title. So we have the Houthis fulfilling this script of being the bait on the fishhook of the Israelis, who lured the West, the Leviathan of the West, into the Red Sea to be drowned in the Red Sea by the Houthis. Now, this is all very symbolic. Eventually, it may be utilizing nuclear weapons to wipe out American vessels, to drown the Leviathan. There is a backstory to all of this, which I'm going to explain after we watch this little clip of Moses doing his deed. Remember, the Israelis crossing the parted Red Sea are a baited fish hook. Ancient peoples used to hunt crocodiles with baited fish hooks. The Pharaoh is equated throughout Scripture with a crocodile, with the Leviathan. The Pharaoh is Satan, and his armies are the children of Satan, now represented by the Christians and by the West. So the Pharaoh is the devil, and he betrays his own people in exchange for the scapegoat on Yom Kippur and leads them into their own doom. The Egyptians were led into their own doom in the Red Sea. I'm also going to show you a scriptural verse, another one of many, that demonstrates that the ancient Israelites were cannibals who cut off the heads of the Leviathan, as in Christians being beheaded in the book of Revelations, as in the Christians being beheaded by the Noahide laws. And this is all related to this same story of the Leviathan representing the Pharaoh and his armies, representing the peoples of Edom to be drowned in the Sea of Edom in the Red Sea. So let's watch this little clip to get us familiar with this story. Those are the Egyptians chasing the bait of the Israelites, just as America is chasing the bait of the Israelites and being lured into the Red Sea to be hooked on the fish hook and drowned. So these are the worms on the fish hook crossing over the parted Red Sea. The Egyptians give pursuit.
Better to serve the Egyptians than to die here.
Who shall withstand the power of God?
And now they are being drowned. The fish is being hooked. And it's not depicted in this story, but Psalms makes it clear that they are then decapitated and they are eaten. Leviathan is eaten, as I've been explaining over and over again. Cannibalism is their ultimate goal at the banquet feast, as in Bhagavad Gita, folio 74 and folio 75 in the Talmud. And in Midrash, Leviticus 13:3. There are the fish who are hooked on the scales of the crocodile. The crocodile is Pharaoh. There is the crocodile, the Leviathan. And he is defeated, and his armies are drowned in the Red Sea.
Blow with thy winds, and the sea covered them. Who is like unto thee, O Lord? From everlasting to everlasting, thou art God.
So that's what's happening today in the Red Sea. The Americans are being lured into the Red Sea by the Israelis, by the Israelites, and the Houthis are there to have the sea collapse in on them and their ships and drown them in the Sea of Edom, the Sea of Red, the Sea of Esau, where Satan's children, Esau, the Gentiles, the Edomites, are killed off and drowned. So let's give the backstory that explains all of this. And again, the Pharaoh is a crocodile in the Nile, and he is hooked, and his armies are fish that are caught on his scales. Jesus is the crocodile, the serpent, the Leviathan on the fish hook of the cross, hanging on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, seducing with gnosis, with his knowledge, the Gentiles to consume the unripened fruit and be exterminated. The Israelites have once again lured the Edomites of the West, just as they did to the ancient Egyptians in their mythologies, and this is not coincidental. This has always been their plan. They have lured the West into the Red Sea, into the Sea of Edom, so that the Edomites can be destroyed. So here we have the book of Job. Book of Job, chapters 40 and 41 describe the behemoth and the Leviathan, and Job 41 describing the Leviathan says, "Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn?" That Leviathan is the Pharaoh of Egypt. That Leviathan is Jesus Christ. That Leviathan is the drawing of the West into the Red Sea to be consumed, just as Pharaoh's armies were consumed. And literally, ultimately, all Westerners, I can't stress this enough, in the Midrash for Leviticus 13:3, it specifically states that we are slated to become their food. I've given innumerable passages proving that they are cannibals. They were accused of cannibalism by the ancient Romans. And their story of Egypt is revealed to be a story of cannibalism in Psalm chapter 74, verses 13 and 14. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Let me start over. This is referring to the Red Sea, the Sea of Edom, the sea where the Edomites are drowned, the children of Satan are drowned in the blood sea. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters, the decapitation of the Christians, the curse of Genesis on the serpent in chapter 3, verses 14 and 15. Christians are decapitated in the book of Revelations. Christians are decapitated under the Noahide laws. This is the crushing of the head of the serpent, the breaking of the head of the dragon. The dragon is the Leviathan. In the Septuagint, drakon is used for Leviathan in many parts for the serpent. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. They are planning to kill us and eat us. And they describe this in their banquet feast in Leviticus, in the Talmud, Bava Batra, folio 74 and 75, in the Midrash 13, for Leviticus 13:3, and in countless other passages. This is all coming out in my forthcoming books. I have it all out there. So then we have the same thing being described in Ezekiel chapter 29, verses 1 to 4. In the 10th year, in the 10th month, in the 12th day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. Pharaoh is the Leviathan, the great dragon. Speak and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers. That's the crocodile, the Leviathan in the form of the crocodile, which hath said, My river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. Leviathan is a dragon. Leviathan is a crocodile. Leviathan is a serpent, a snake, on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But I will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, and I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers, and all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales. So Pharaoh was hooked by the bait of the Israelites on the hook, drawing Pharaoh's armies into the parted Red Sea, where they were drowned, and those armies were the fish that were caught on crocodile Pharaoh's scales. Raphael Patai, who I often cite, wrote in a book he co-authored with Robert Graves, Hebrew Myths, the book of Genesis. Crocodiles were also native to Palestine and survived in the river Zerka until the beginning of this century. A small Gnostic stela from Caesarea shows them being hunted. According to Diodorus Siculus, they were caught on baited hooks and killed with iron forks, though seldom because of their sanctity. Pharaoh's armies were killed by baited hooks. The Israelites were the baited hooks. They returned as the baited hooks in the form of Jesus Christ to hook Christians and bring them in and kill them off. And this represents Esau and Edom. And today it represents the West being hooked by Israel, the baited hook of Israel, lured into the Red Sea to be attacked by the Houthis to bring about an apocalyptic nuclear war. Matthew chapter 4, verse 19, and he, Jesus, saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Jesus on the cross is a worm, the serpent of the Garden of Eden, on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is the fish hook of the cross. Chapter 4, verses 18 to 22, and Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. This represents hooking the Gentiles in the sea and drowning them and killing them off. And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. His disciples are fishers who put the hook into the jaws of Leviathan to kill off the Gentiles. Christianity is a trap. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other two brethren, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in a ship with Zebedee their father, mending nets, and he called them. And they immediately left the ship and their father and followed him. This is a recurring theme in Christianity. I've shown images of Jesus as a worm on a fishhook being lowered by Christians to hook Christians. And just as the Leviathan is hooked, because Christians are the children of Satan, the fish caught in the crocodile scales to be killed, we are being set up. This is a very ancient plan, and I'm going to blow your minds in the next two videos. It's absolutely I have taken this to a whole new level, and as you'll see. So there were also two others who were potentially originally fishermen, but became fishermen at any rate. There were together Simon Peter and Thomas, called Didymus. Thomas and Nathaniel were also probably or perhaps fishermen together with Simon Peter and James and John. Nathaniel is Satan in the New Testament. As I have described in my other videos, he appears in the first chapter of John as the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Another interesting thing I found is the motto for the Houthis, the Ansar Allah, contains the phrase that God is the greatest, which echoes what Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses from the Sinai Peninsula, said, "Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them." And that is from the region around where the Egyptians were drowned when they followed the baited hook of the Israelites into the Red Sea. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. I've been debating whether I should do this or not, but I'm obliged to do it. There's a guy named Adam Green who is an internet grifter. He has been parroting my work for years and years. I trusted in him and taught him my theories, and he is continuing to copy my work without giving me any credit. So I want to give you a heads up about that. These are my theories, not his. He doesn't have the right to parrot my words without giving me credit. And I wish he'd stop so I could not be obliged to keep defending my priority on these issues. Again, I'm in need of contributions. I again want to thank everyone who has been contributing, and I want to thank all the people who are sending me tips about things to consider and talking about, and anyone who does that, if I do pursue those, I will certainly give you credit. And I want to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. I've got the whole thing figured out in ways that you did not expect, which relate directly to all of this. And I'm going to decode it for you in a way that no other human being ever has. I think a lot of this has actually been lost. And I'm going to be the first one to piece it all back together for about 2,000 years. And I know that's a heavy boast, but when you see it, you'll understand why I make that boast. So please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on that, and wish me good health so that I can recover from my eye strain and the hemorrhaging and burst vessels in my eyes. I'm doing this for you guys. I hope you appreciate it. And please come back and watch. It's very, very, very important to understand all of this. The plan is to exterminate us. The plan has always been to exterminate us, to put us through the horrors of hell, to enslave us, and ultimately to throw us in the frying pan and eat us. I'll see you next time.